All right, we are in the sequence document in the science section. Okay, so I started out kindergarten, Berenstain Bears Big Book of Science. I've shared about this one before. We love it. The kids really like the Berenstain Bears, so it was something that I knew that they would be drawn to and want to look through. So I used this with my now second grader, and we had such a good time. And we just used this as our guide. I would just read like a page or two to him on science days, and then we would just kind of investigate. We would look something up on like a science video on YouTube or something to go along with it, or crack open one of our other books that I knew was going to have something in there. But yeah, we really liked this. I highly recommend this book. And look, you can get used ones for super cheap. Worth it. Okay. So, my goal for this grade is familiarity with the natural world through books, right? So there's a series of books that's like An Egg is Quiet, right? I have this series. And if you guys wanted me to do a flip through, I can do a flip through of any of these resources. Just let me know. But I love the illustrations. They give you, again, like a lot of these things, these books are like your spine, right? You can take inspiration from these and look up something about eggs, look up something about penguins or turtles, right? Look at all these different animals that lay eggs, and they're so beautiful. And then there's A Beetle is Shy, a Rock is Lively. So this one's a little bit different. I like that it's getting into like geology. Oh, it doesn't have a look inside. I hate it when it does this. It doesn't let you look inside. But this book is actually really beautiful, especially if you have, like, all my boys are little rock collectors, right? They always want to collect rocks and bring things in, and this could help them learn something about that. And this paired up nicely with some of my DK kind of reference books that I had to look up, minerals and things. But anyways, that's series. I love it. And then first grade, I loved this Nature Anatomy book. Again, like, it's $15 new, but look, you can get used copies and save yourself some money. And we had so much fun going through this. Yeah, this was phenomenal. It was just such a good spine, and we would look up videos on things that we saw. We did a lot of going on like TPT and looking for free resources. Or you could just Google, free, like when it talked about weather, the seasons or whatever, and just look. We did a lot of free activities. And I also used this again in conjunction with my DK, kind of like reference books. It just touched on so many things again. So I just use this as kind of like the spine. And it gives good, like, some information, but not too much as to be like overwhelming, for their little brains. This one was really fun, Layers of the Earth. This is a really fun one to get some Play-Doh and have them make their own little Play-Doh model of the Earth and tell you about the layers. Again, here's some more minerals. Those were really pretty to look into. The rock cycle was really cool. So it gives you a lot of things and terms that are helpful for you you can look up if you want to do activities on them, but you don't have to. I did buy the companion notebook to go along with this, but the first year, actually, when William and I did it, we did not use the companion notebook. We just used a blank notebook and just took our own notes and drew our own pictures, and so you can totally do that without it. I just think it's nice to have. But we just had such a great time. Like, my favorite activity I did while we were doing this is I think I maybe found it on Pinterest. I just looked up some kind of activity to do with flowers or something, and I found one that showed you how to make, like watercolors using flower petals, and we painted, and it was really fun. Okay, then also this year is great to start doing the Arthur Scott Bailey books, reading those. And so I just linked to some of our favorite ones. Like you can find the Tale of Benny Badger in the public domain and just print it out, like Project Gutenberg. You can print it out from there and make your own book. But look, it's like $4 for a new one. So I was like, that's $4 is worth it to me to not have to print it out. And then I think it's just fun to get some kind of cute notebook for them. So we bought this notebook. It's just, so it was nature themed because that's what our theme is for the year, you know. I think I bought, yeah, these ones are showing up because I bought like this one too. They're so cute. And, you know, it just makes it more fun for them to have something, some cute notebook to write in. The Tale of Benny Badger was a good one. The Tale of Betsy Butterfly, I think, is actually my favorite Arthur Scott Bailey book. I love this one. Again, you could print this out from Project Gutenberg. But of course, you know, some things are going to be worth it to print and some aren't, because that one was a lot more expensive. And again, a little butterfly notebook to fill out as you go. So these books just give you so many, like they're actually very factually correct about the animals and insects and things that they are depicting. You could just have them take notes from there, or at the same time, you know, you could look up facts about those animals alongside the reading. This is just a really fun way to teach kids how to just study on their own without so much formal guidance. I really loved it. So I've got, yeah, Tale of Betsy Butterfly, Master Meadow Mouse, Ferdinand Frog, Nimble Deer. I wanted a variety of types of animals. 2nd grade. So this might be a good year to do some human anatomy for kids. I just picked up a book that was, you know, not too heavy. You know, we liked this one. We did look up some like anatomy videos. So it covers the human body, your body's defense systems, how your body moves, making sense, breathing to the beat, let's eat, grow up. Skeleton. And I did have a little, I have some little models, like anatomical models that I bought like years and years ago for Everett. And we used we pulled those out. And the kids actually still, I have them in the schoolroom and they're just constantly pulling them out, like putting them together. Oh, there was a really cute composition notebook. Yeah, it was this one. I don't know why they moved it, but we bought this one. I'll update that link and re-upload the sequences. And it's just a blank notebook, but you know, they can write their name on it, write anatomy. They're not too big. Like, it's only like $5. And we took notes in here, whatever. You know, struck his fancy, whatever he was interested in. If we watched a video on something, I would have him take some notes from the video or draw something from it. So again, we're kind of learning how to study and how to pick out what's important, the most important information. Okay, now we've got the Human Body Coloring Book. This is also something that we bought, and some of the pages that because there's no way that they're gonna color, there's so many pages in here. So what we actually did is have him color some of the pages, you know, that we're learning about. It covers, I mean, the coloring book covers more, I think, than the little book we got him did. But then he like could cut these out, and he, with his little glue stick, would like paste them into his composition book. Wildlife Anatomy, the curious lives and features of wild animals around the world. Right? It's neat because the kids, I mean, we're used to like American animals, you know? And so it's nice to kind of take a dive around, like, yeah, we never talk about South American animals, right? And stuff like that. There's social networks. Yeah, we did talk about prairie dogs in the Benny Badger book. Snakes, birds. Ooh, gorillas on here. So yeah, little simple ecosystem. Cool, right? Deciduous forest, rainforest. So a lot of good information. Again, a great spine, and then you can dive deeper into any of those that you guys feel like. Okay, so also in here, the Tale of Jolly Robin. So I put the Tale of Jolly Robin and the Tale of Solomon Owl into 2nd grade because that's about that's when it kind of matched up with our reading list for RC. It worked out well when we were doing The Tale of Jolly Robin to do my study along with it. And this is something I made just as William and I were going through these books. And it's just a guided study. It kind of follows along with the story. And then there's information about animals. There's links to videos and web pages and things to fill out. And yeah, we talked about the habitats and seasons and lots of stuff. But so I made that to go along with The Tale of Jolly Robin. And then I did the same for The Tale of Solomon Owl. So again, this is one of those ones that to me was cheap enough to buy it, if you wanted to buy it. The owl study along looks like this. So yeah, and this is like a link, it says study owl physiology, and that is a link to click on where it talks about owl physiology, and they could just fill that stuff in. I really, to be honest, I do not like having to go to the library and find books. Like, I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm actually like not a library person. Maybe it's just because I got so disappointed in our library, and so I just not that motivated to go back. Vocabulary fill in. So I've given the vocabulary and the terms, and then they can fill it in here based on the, I think this was an article that I sent you guys to. Can you find the barred owl in the lineup? The habitat and range. Okay, so anyways, and yeah, you can print this for multiple kids for only $5. Let's see, and then also an animal research report resource. So I just put this in the shop. It's only $2, but it's my famous scientists report outline, and which we'll get to in a second. Also my animal research principles. So it'll just help them, if they're just reading one of those stories, a more simplified way to research the animal would just be to look for these facts, which are probably in the stories, right? And then any other interesting facts about whatever animal they could write here. And this is supposed to be to do like a portrait of your animal. Anyway, just something really simple. Okay, and you can print those just over and over for however many books you do, right? The Tale of Buster Bumblebee, that was a good one. And then grade 3, Ocean Anatomy. So I'm continuing on with Ocean Anatomy and the companion. I did get the companion notebooks. We did it for this one. This has been a good one. I will say, I think I'll link a video where I talk about planning this as like our unit study down below, because I've gone into more detail about that before. There's the notebook companion, and you can buy these just all four, I think 4 of them together. I don't know that the wildlife one is in there though. And then I wanted some books that we could read this year. We've got The Coral Island is one of the ones in here that you could read along. So this is more like a living book. We also did, I don't think I listed it, but we got the Burgess, I don't know, it is something about the seaside book, but like little Danny Meadow Mouse ends up at the seaside, and they just go through, like every chapter is like a little report, but written as kind of like a story of the animals talking to each other, but they're telling you'll learn more about crabs than you ever knew. And then Oceanology, this looks like a fun book. Oh, you can't see inside of it either. Anyways, this is just a really cool, fun book the kids would like. And then I included in here my first year about weather. I don't know why it's so hard to find weather resources, but it is. But it's just one of those little, my first book about weather, like the Dover series. So it's worth it to know about that. It affects animals. You don't have to do all of these in one year, but again, I think I said this before, like as year-round homeschoolers, like we have a lot of time. So we go through a lot of stuff, and it's not crammed, it's not stressful. We take breaks, but we were able to cover a lot. So I bought the Apologia Astronomy, and this is, I actually ended up going with the slightly, I think this is like 2016, because I wanted the break on the price. You get the notebook, and I don't know if I'll rebuy, the notebooks like for Bo or anything, or if, I'll just be able to do just a regular, like a spiral notebook, but I wanted to see what was in there. space composition notebook. So that's why I included this here. Because in case you decided not to go with the Apologia notebook and you just wanted to use the textbook and do your own notebooking, of course I wanted a themed notebook. It's that cute. And then this is a fun read. I have read this book, Out of the Silent Planet with C.S. Lewis. Of course it's fictional, but it's fun and it gets them thinking about, space and stuff. And it's a fun little adventure story. Okay, 4th grade. This is the year we are going to introduce importance of technology and discovery through biographies and timelines and independent work. So I liked this book, Science Year by Year. That was a good one. So it's going to give you, the timeline of different things being discovered and invented. Yeah, that's good. Everett was just looking at that the other day. And then 100 Scientists Who Made History. Like, again, you can get these books used. Like this one, it's $16, but like, look, it starts at $3. In RC, there is all of those famous scientists articles, and we did print those out and use those as well when we did this, when Everett and I went through the famous scientists year. And then we also read these, the Who Was Isaac Newton, Who Was Albert Einstein. So I have a list of ones. And these were really fast reads and gave a lot of information, and the kids like these a lot. So they love the big heads. They like the illustrations within the book. They give, life information too, So yeah, those were good. And then famous scientists and animal reports. I already showed you this for the animals, but yeah, we were using it for the scientist report, right? And we would also look up, you could look up on YouTube a lot of the inventions that people have made. The really famous scientists and famous inventions have videos on them, and some even people reproducing them, recreating their experiments, like physics professors and stuff at college will film their lectures where they're demonstrating something, and that's really cool to do with that. Okay, 5th grade, Apologia Earth Science textbook. So yeah, we love this one. There is a notebook that goes with this one too, right? It's like right up here above it, showing you the notebook journal. And then this year, so we did anatomy. Maybe you want to do an anatomy unit, right? But you've got kids of multiple ages. So I gave you some younger ones back for younger kids, and this was the one I used for Everett. He was a little bit older when we did that unit. But the younger kids look at this one too. So for some reason they loved this book. Had a picture of like an eyeball. I think it was this. See, there's like an eyeball on it, and they just thought that was hilarious. I don't know. Kids are so funny. But it had a lot of really good visuals. DNA. Again, this is such a good spine and lets you dive into whatever catches their fancy, whatever is interesting. Or that you think is important to point out to them. And again, you can get this one used. So it starts at $9.88. The Human Anatomy Coloring Book. So this one was a step up, right, from the other one I showed you. So this one's going to be a little more in depth. I'm showing you all those little bones in the hand. And this is just another, here it is, the Human Anatomy Composition Notebook. Same one. Okay. 6th grade, Apologia General Science textbook. And the notebook that goes with it. Right, looks like that. Independent Study, 7th grade. Family style with notebooking, right? Because these ones you can get notebooks for younger kids too. Independent Study, Apologia, Physical Science textbook. Looks like that. In 8th grade, so I had 2 options here. So I bought the Ultimate Answers pack and the companion notebooks. A little on the spendy side, not any used ones for me to buy, but I bit the bullet on this one and bought this one full price. It comes with 5 books, and I just have been really convicted lately. There's just so many questions that come up, and it's really important that I can defend my faith and that the kids can defend their faith. So we're going to go through these, and you can do, there's like, I think there's the normal 1 through 4 books in this one, and then there's also one on the flood. And then there are companion notebooks by Daily Skill Building. See, here's like the one for book 1. Yeah, I wanted to have the guided notebook with this one. And then there's also Master Books, Chemistry and Ecology. So God's Design for Chemistry and Ecology. So there's a teacher guide and a student book. Oh, good. We can look inside this one. Introduction to Experimental Science, the Scientific Method, Tools of Science, Lord Kelvin, the Metric System, Mass versus Weight, Conservation of Mass, Volume, Density, Buoyancy, all that good stuff. Gas laws. And some of this they've seen little baby versions of in that Berenstain Bear book. So it's good to have that around your house and keep those concepts in their mind. Okay, that's as far as I got in 8th grade. Let me know, what are your favorite science options in the comments, because I'm always looking for new ideas. Okay, have a good day.